Hello, my name is Nicholas Negroponte, and I'm going to talk to you about blurring the limits of bits and atoms. I'm very fond of saying that perspective is worth 50 points of IQ. And we also know that you really don't understand something unless you look at it from multiple points of view. And perhaps to me, the most debilitating expression is problem solving. The best way to understand a scene cut is from the soundtrack. It's not the pixels, it's the sound. Because we in film always start the sound before we go to the picture, and there's a cut. And we know that if the next scene is going to be an outdoor scene, quite a few frames before we show that, we start introducing outdoor noise. So a child writes a program to, let's say, draw a circle. Now, you and I learned circleness through very abstract concepts like pi and its relation to the circumference and the diameter. But the child writing a program understands circleness very differently. It's almost like walking around in a circle. You write a program, and the first time, guess what? It doesn't draw a circle, lines go all over the place. The child looks at that and debugs the program, corrects the algorithm, changes the code, and runs it again. And slowly through that iterative process, it'll finally become a circle. And that debugging, that iteration to debug a program, is in fact the closest approximation we will ever get to learning about learning. The way our geopolitics evolved was because of atoms, not bits. We had borders that were created often by rivers, maybe mountains, where we had minerals, we had ways of doing trade. Transportation was quite defining. Some countries defined by railroads, some by ships, and more recently, some benefiting from air and air transportation, but it is still a world made from the world of atoms. And in fact, we have borders where I'm in a country, and then if I lift my foot and I go over here, I'm in another country, and there really is a border. What's going to happen when that border is not quite as meaningful? So what I'd like to end with is the baggage of history. And the reason I call history baggage is that very often we lean on that baggage and we're proud of it. I see this with people, I see this with countries, I see this with students doing projects. It's what I call sometimes the Pygmalion problem. You fall in love with the statue you've carved, and then you make it a little bit better and you improve it and so on. In some countries, the Singaporean government is looking at how do we become a creative society, and they're doing things and encouraging people to even break rules. And that's fine. But the real question is, does a society have to go through all of those steps to then worry about being a creative society? And I would argue, because of the digital world, the answer is no, that you can, in fact, develop economically and be a creative economy without first going through this stage of extraordinary discipline and rote learning to make enough money to then become a creative society. And time will tell if I'm right. Thank you very much.